What's going on? It's D-Man. Bringing to you an NBA 2K14 wish list. I've been sitting on this for a while. I'm not sure if I really wanted to release it because it's just a bunch of really random things that I would like. I should name this video the NBA 2K14 reach and wish list because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just reaching a little bit. But it's all good. You see, I'm talking over some crew gameplay here. Now, a lot of people are surprised that I didn't talk about crew. And let me just say this. This is why I don't talk about crew. Everybody is complaining to 2K about crew already. They already know they need crew back. Before anybody even says something, 2K knows that everybody played crew. So making videos, begging them or threatening them to put crew back in the game, it really doesn't do anything because they know what they need to do. And honestly, I know they're just waiting to bring crew back when it's ready. Crew is the Derrick Rose of 2K. They're just waiting for crew to come back when it's ready, not when everybody says so. Because if crew comes back and there's still hacks and a bunch of exploits, then I really won't play it that much. 2K11, I played it a lot because at the time crew was still new. It was only the second year that crew has been in the game. So I played it a lot, but still at times it wasn't fun because people were hacking and just messing up the experience. So that's all I have to say about that. 2K knows what they're doing. They know crew needs to come back and they'll come back when it's ready to come back. Simple as that. But let me just jump into this random wish list. First off, let's talk about the blacktop. I think a lot of people want more courts because in 2K10, 2K9, all of the other 2Ks before 2K11, there were multiple courts you can play on. But now it's only two, and it gets kind of repetitive. And it gets kind of boring to look at after a while. Also, one thing I want to talk about is the release, because for some reason, this may just be me, but when it comes to like everything I own, I like a nice box. It's kind of weird to say, but I just like a nice presentation on release. In these past few years, 2K11 it was Michael Jordan, 2K12 it was Michael Jordan, or you could really decide. 2K13, 3 athletes on the cover. In 2K14, I honestly believe we might be seeing LeBron James on the cover this year. If not LeBron James, then the big three of the Miami Heat. That's just what I think. But even then, I wish we could go back to like the 2K10 days. I don't know how many of y'all remember, but 2K10, Kobe was on the cover. But it also came with that nice sleeve over the game, which was kind of 3D. I'm not going to call it completely 3D, but it kind of popped out. And I just thought that was real dope. It'd be tight to get something like that again. Another thing I like to see is a way to do fancy passes. You can do fancy passes on 2K13, but it's not like a manual way. It's always random. Most of the time it's on a fast break. Is how I'll see it. If it's a 3-on-1, you throw a pass. Sometimes it'll go between the legs or behind the head. But I just like a manual way to do it. Just like on the older 2Ks, A button was pass, B button was fancy pass. But of course they'll have to restructure the controller a little bit if they did something like that. So if it doesn't come back, it's whatever, but just manual fancy passes would be dope. Another thing I want to talk about is the ankle breakers. And I said this on Twitter before, but the ankle breakers on 2K should be as rare as the Jamal Crawford layup package. 2K, even sometimes on Hall of Fame, they just happen too often. And when they do happen, they just look dumb. Like they don't fall on an ankle breaker, they fall after the fact or before the ankle breaker or just randomly. It's just weird to look at sometimes. It doesn't seem smooth. I do like that you can make people fall, but not if it looks like that, So the ankle breakers need to be more smooth. I have blocks on this list, and we already know about the blocks. Like they're non-existent on the blacktop, but I think that's really only on the blacktop because in Mod Player or the regular exhibition games, you can block layups. You still can't block dunks. Not as easy as you can block layups, but on the blacktop, you can't block anything really, and it's really difficult. So there just needs to be a balance for things like blocks. There also needs to be a balance for three-pointers because it seems like 2K was changing it a lot. So we just need to balance all those things, kind of sort it out when the game is released. Now here's where I start talking about stuff that's not really important, but I just nag about it every year to my homies. Not really to anybody that works at 2K or anybody on YouTube, because like I said, it's just sometimes it feels irrelevant. But this is where I talk about the soundtrack. In 2K13, they had a pretty good soundtrack. Every song was pretty much handpicked by Jay-Z. Some people think that it was a little bit too much Jay-Z, but that never really bothered me. The things that bother me about some of the songs that are put on 2K is when I put a song on the game where like a whole verse is going to be deleted, like a Young Jeezy's verse on Amazing or Big Sean's verse on Mercy. Like most of the time, like that's the reason I stopped listening to the soundtrack on 2K. I just plug on my iPod and let it go. I think it would be dope if 2K gave us a decision like, yo, most of the music on the soundtrack has cursing in it. Do you want to listen to the clean version or the regular version? I think having that decision would be better. But like I said, I'm just reaching a little bit. That's just why I want to really talk about the soundtrack. Like I said, sometimes it gets annoying to hear a whole verse cut off. But either way, the soundtrack for 2K13 was still pretty good. Now this idea right here, it really depends on two things. One, memory, and two, if crew mode comes back, because this is stretching into next gen consoles, maybe 2K15. And if crew mode does come back, I want to see a more expensive court design. Back in the day when you could design courts, it was really just the logo and colors. But I like to see it to where you can kind of design not only the logo, the colors, but the type of broadcast you want, kind of like the sponsors and stuff you want on the side, the layout of the seats and the crowds. I just want this to go to a whole nother level on court design when making your crew. I just think that'd be cool. Anyways, that's all I really have for my wish list. Like I said, this was just a bunch of random things that I had. Wasn't really sure where to place them. I know ankle breakers and blocks should have went in the gameplay, but I forgot. Same with probably the passing also. But these are just a few little ideas I had written down, but I just forgot to put them somewhere. Anyways, this crew game was a blowout. I'm not going to let it finish because I'm pretty much done here. The final score at the half, I only had a half, the first half for some reason. But the final score was probably like 45-20. Like these people, I don't know, man. When people play legit in crew, it was always a blowout. And that's what I like. So, like I said, if crew comes back, I just want to see some legit players, not these 7'5" point guards with the handles of Derrick Rose. Crew will come back when it's ready. Anyways, I'll holler at you all later. Peace.